Hey everyone, Dr. Retro's Video Game Finds part 117. Let's get cracking. We're starting off with a Sega CD, Mega CD version 2. So this is the version that goes on the side, version 1 goes on the bottom. And it comes just the console and the adapter, nothing else. This is a Philips CDI 210 model, and it came with a bunch of games and one wireless controller and the roller controller, which I'll show you in a bit. These are the games it came with: Karaoke, Sandy's Circus Adventure, Face Kitchen, Compton's Encyclopedia, Mega Pop Hit Classics, Mega M.A.S.K, Digital Tour of Eindhoven, and Tetris. And the reason I bought this is because there were 2 Zelda games in this set. So when this set arrived without the Zelda games, I contacted the seller and he said, "Oh yeah, well, someone contacted me about those 2 and I sold them separately. Forgot to mention that." Yeah, so that sucks balls, because it wasn't Zelda's Adventure, but it were the other 2, Zelda Wand of Gamelon and Link Faces of Evil. So these are all, yeah, let's just say crap. And it's just a console, a working one. So, and this controller, which I loved as a kid because my uncle had a TV hi-fi store, and he had a CDI display, and they had the Sesame Street game with this controller. And in retrospect, of course, the game was really bad, but as a kid I was just going crazy on that ball and clicking on everything, and it still bothers me that this yellow thing isn't clickable. But this CDI set was a bit of a letdown, as you can imagine. To make up for that CDI bummer, there's this NES complete in box set with 5 games, and they're all in great condition. They got traded in. Someone traded these for a Saturn set I had. And the thing is, these were all from his childhood, and he was really careful with them. They're not in superb condition. As you can see, the edges are a little bit damaged, but they are in really good boxed complete condition. So the Addams Family, Star Wars, Burai Fighter, Tom and Jerry, and Ski or Die. I bought a set of games from a guy that I'll show you later, the games, but he also had this set, the 6 Scott Pilgrim comics, or graphic novels, or what you want to call them. And these are really cool, and I really love the movie, and I read these on my telephone, on my smartphone, but I didn't have the physical copies. So for 20 euros I got this nice set of all 6 Scott Pilgrims. Part 1, Part 2, Part 3, 4, 5, and 6, The Finest Hour. If you don't know Scott Pilgrim, check out the movie. It was really cool, especially if you're into gaming, and since you're watching this, you're probably into gaming. So let's do some Game Boy Advance. This came from the same guy that I got the Scott Pilgrim comics from. The Game Boy Advance normal edition, but then in black. King of Fighters Neo Blood EX, King of Fighters EX2 Howling Blood, Broken Sword Shadow of the Templars, and the Game Boy Advance link cable in box, which I actually don't have in my collection, so might keep that. It's only a small step from retro video games to retro toys, and this is a set of Matchbox connectables I bought. This is stuff that I had as a kid, but I never knew there was a big edition as well. This is a huge plane slash car, whatever you want to make out of it. It comes with all kinds of different parts. This is a part, this is a part, this, and this here in the back. So you can all connect those the way you want and make different kind of vehicles out of them. Also 3 little workstations, lube and tune, custom cars garage, and the parts marked. And then of course the small connectables that I mainly had as a kid. And these are all just car parts that you can break up and then make a different car out of it. A really ugly one, or do it like this and have a long one. Any way you want. That was the cool thing about connectables, you can make it any way you want. Here you have a fire truck that you can give a race car front or some wings. Now you have a fire truck with wings. So that's how connectables work, and I really enjoyed playing with these as a kid. Back to video games. 3 Nintendo 64 games and a memory pack or controller pack, whatever you want to call it, complete in the box. Then Pokemon Stadium with the transfer pack, Donkey Kong 64 with the expansion pack, and Yoshi's Story complete in box. All of these, and they're all in decent shape. Not superb, but really not bad at all, so I'd call them okay or decent. It's time for another toy intermezzo, and this is from my favorite series. I have a complete set of these, and these are quite a lot. It's about 15 vehicles, I think, and they're all complete in great condition. This is Rhino, one of the most famous vehicles from the series. Then we have Slingshot, which is a Winnebago with a little airplane inside, but this one always has the problem that it doesn't close. And that counts for this model as well. Then I have Volcano, which is the only one of 2 motorized M.A.S.K vehicles. This one flips open and you can ride it around. And when it flips open, oh, Matt Tracker almost flew out. There you have Matt. Oh, well, he's in the bottom now. Matt in a gun turret, and there's another guy. Then there's a bunch of smaller vehicles. From left to right we have the pickup truck called Firecracker, Hurricane, which is a Chevy. Then there's this tow truck that's called, no, this is actually the, or was this the Chevy? I'm not good with cars, I just know that this one is called Stinger. And this is Hurricane, which is a cool Jeep that has a pop-up in the back. Let me show you. They have a gun turret, which was one of my favorite vehicles as a kid. So the next few, after the Rhino I showed in the start, these are the other 2 most iconic vehicles. This is Thunderhawk, which is the main vehicle from the main protagonist, Matt Tracker. And this is Switchblade, which is the main vehicle for the main bad guy, which is Miles Mayhem over here. This turns into either a fighter jet or a helicopter. Then we have Firefly over here, Dune Buggy. This is Piranha. This is... can't think of its name, and that last one can't think of the name either, but they're all complete with the bombs, and that's a thing that always go missing, especially this one, this CAG bomb. That's usually not with that set. The last 3, which are the smallest and also the cheapest to buy, this is Condor, Vampire, and Iguana. And as you can see with M.A.S.K and with pretty much every other toy series, you have the really small ones that are also were cheapest in stores, and they go up to the biggest, and the biggest for M.A.S.K would be either Rhino or Outlaw, which was also in this set, but I'll show you next week because I need to check first if I have all the parts in my collection. And the biggest, of course, is Boulder Hill, which is the home station, which is a huge mountain. I'm expecting a lot of cool big boxes and some other retro gaming stuff, but before that comes in, there's Paperboy for the NES, A Boy and His Blob, Sonic CD, but in a small box, so someone cut up the regular box to make it fit in a small box, and Grandia 2 for the PlayStation 2. This is a little tower of different Game Boy consoles. This is a Game Boy Pocket Red version, Game Boy Advance SP NES edition, a bit scratched up. Then we have the Game Boy Advance normal first edition in white. This is the clear Game Boy Advance complete in box. And then we have the red Game Boy, the regular Game Boy, the limited or special edition with the special edition box. Actually I only bought the console, but I had this box spare, so I added them together and made them complete again. Then for the Super Nintendo, there's 6 loose games. The first one is, if we can get a focus, come on, yeah, there we go, Pinocchio. This is World Class Rugby and FIFA 96 Soccer. And the other 3 are Olympic Summer Games, Super Mario All-Stars, and Super Mario Kart. One Super Famicom game, the best RPG of all time. Do I need to show it, or do you already know which game it is? Of course, Chrono Trigger. Complete in box, in okay shape, has some dents and rips there. And these are not rare at all. You can buy these for, I think, 15 to 20 euros in Japan. But it's a great game, and I love Chrono Trigger, so I want every version in my collection. Let's take a trip into deep space with the Star Trek The Next Generation toys. The top one is a Type 1 phaser, so you can set your phasers to stun or to awesome, and this is a tricorder. Basically the only thing this one does is make two sounds, whether you depends on which button you press down and then you trigger it, and this only has 3 different sound options. That's all it does, and a couple of blinking lights. These are collector's editions. And they have a number. This is number 221,305. So wow, that is limited. This is over 220,000 copies. That's an average video game doesn't even get that many prints. So yeah, limited, not really. But they are really cool toys and they're nice and complete in the box. 3 PC games: Jazz Jackrabbit Part 2, Lemmings Paintball. I played this a lot when I was younger. We had a test in my high school where we all got a laptop, and it was quite slow. I could run Unreal Tournament, but that was the absolute max. It didn't run well, but we played a lot of Lemmings Paintball. Then Lemmings 3D and 3 PlayStation 2 games: Dragon Ball Z, Budokai Tenkaichi 3, Budokai Tenkaichi 1, and Budokai 2. And then 3 Game Boy games: Super 63 in 1, Zelda: A Link to the Past, 4 Swords without the manual, and the same goes for Golden Sun. The last few piles for this week. Sorry that the video came a bit later than usual, but I had a very important day today, Monday, because I had to present my master thesis. So that went well. I got a good grade, so I'm off to my last period as a doctor in training to become a real doctor. This is a set of PlayStation and some other games that came in, and the guy tried to sweeten the deal by throwing in an extra that you'll see last, and that really made it for me. Super Smash Bros. Melee, Final Fantasy X2, X1, Kingdom Hearts Part 1, Kingdom Hearts Part 2, Final Fantasy 12, Dragon Quest 8, Silent Hill The Room 4, Fable 2, Champions League something, Silent Hill 2 and Silent Hill 3, and this last one that was to sweeten the deal. Hell yeah, I definitely did not want that game for my collection. So yeah, I believe this is a Sims kind of game, right? But then with Playboy Mansion and semi-erotic, not really erotic stuff. I don't have this and I don't want it, but it sweetened the deal, I guess. With that set also came a guide that I forgot to put with the set. It's the guide for Dragon Quest VIII: Journey of the Cursed King. And I made a start with this game. I think I played it for about 3 to 4 hours, and it's hard. It starts off really hard, because the first boss you're facing is not one of those 2 hits and it's gone. It's like, eat all your potions and all your consumables, because you're gonna get fucked. So, PC big box games: Heroes of Might and Magic Part 1, Heroes of Might and Magic Part 2, the Deluxe Edition, Heroes of Might and Magic 3, and the expansion for Heroes of Might and Magic 3, Armageddon's Blade. Little Big Adventure 2, and every time I get a copy of this game, my inner child just goes wild. This, just looking at this is, I've said it so many times, but this game is so damn amazing. Best adventure game ever. Eat that, Zelda. The last 4 games for this episode, and as usual we go out with a bang. This is for my personal collection. The first one is Postal Part 1. I remember Postal 2 coming out, and there was a big craze about it. You could piss on your people that you killed, etc. And yeah, the game wasn't really that good, but it did have a lot of media craze about it. And then Blood 2, The Chosen. I got Blood 1 last week, and I already had Cryptic Passage, so the only one I need now are the Nightmare levels for Blood. And then I have the complete set. I don't need a whole unit of Blood combo pack, because I don't collect the combo packs. Then for the Game Boy we have Castlevania 2 Belmont's Revenge, English copy, UKV copy, and quite a rare Game Boy game, and it took me a long time to find my copy, and a couple of weeks later I have another copy, so that's, yeah, that always happens. And then the last one, normally, I think you know, but I don't collect Japanese games. There's a rule that I have because I have so many games, and to start collecting Japanese stuff and all those crazy limited editions the Japanese got, no, I need to draw a line somewhere. But there's one exception to that rule, and that's Not only because the games in European or American version are incredibly rare, some even impossible to find, and also really, really expensive. So I decided that for the Neo Geo AES I also accept Japanese games into my collection. And here comes one of the coolest fighting games that I had never heard of before. Before I had a copy on the Neo Geo CD a while back, and this is Last Blade. And on the Neo Geo CD the loading times were really killing, but the gameplay was really cool. And this is the AES game that of course has minimal loading times because of the cartridge format. So that was it for this week. I hope you enjoyed watching, and trust me, next week is going to be crazy as well, because there's a big flea market and I had some amazing stuff there, but that's all part of next week's video. So thanks for watching. Hope you'll watch some more videos, and else like me on facebook.com/dr.retro. Bye bye.